wants to be king!
In the last video, I talked to you guys about discipline and the importance of doing the things that you know you need to do in life, but for whatever reason you put off. One of the reasons why I'm so familiar with the necessity of discipline is because the way that my life has gone, everything that I've ever accomplished was done off of locking myself down and locking myself in on a task that I decided was important and going after it like a rabid pit bull. Only with self-discipline and a laser focus was I able to accomplish the things that I truly wanted to accomplish. When I started this channel, I did so with the intention of helping as many men out as I possibly could. And I didn't realize the struggle that I had put in my own way, because I really have no desire to become popular, any sort of fame on any level. That's never been the type of person I've been. I actually have just a disdain for people who see themselves as celebrities. I just think that that's dumb. And so because of my distaste for fame, infamy, any of that shit, because I don't like the spotlight put on me, I kind of put myself in a position where there's a catch-22, because I want to help as many men as possible, but yet at the same time I feel like I don't want it to get out of control. And just very recently I started to think maybe that is a self-sabotaging mechanism that's done out of some sort of fear, either fear of failing, or even more importantly, the fear of succeeding. Well, I'm not afraid to fail, because I've done that a lot of times in my life, and I'm definitely not afraid to succeed. And so the past month, I've had to take a really hard look at myself and ask myself the hard question that I ask those that I coach. What is it that you want? And what is it that you're doing to get there? When I started to answer those questions, I caught myself lying. I caught myself lying because on this platform, I've put forth an effort. I've put forth an effort that has amassed a following that's not major, but it's not nothing. And so I've done something, but I haven't done everything that I could. And so when I started to ask myself these questions and analyze whether or not I was lying or not, I decided to do a test, and it was very simple. Release content a little bit more frequently and see if it moved the meter, see if it moved the metrics in a direction that would give me some sort of sign, and it happened. And with that, I realized that I was not doing what I needed to do in totality. And the things that I was investing my time in weren't the things that were going to get me to the goals that I have. The end goal, the end game, my ultimate desire to do that is to build a facility to hold camps and clinics on site, to where we have a hands-on experience with young men and young boys, to give them an experience that will project them into the stratosphere of their dreams and their ambition, to where they can reach their potential. And so if that's what I want to do, I have to grow this channel. I have to get rid of the diversion. And so it's led me down a trail, and it's led me to this conclusion, and I've got to go back to war with myself. I got to go back. I've got to lock myself back down. I've got to put myself in a position where I block out all the outside world and really go on the inside, dissect everything, and figure out what it is that I need to do, where I want to go, and the most expedient way to get there. So I decided to go back on my own program, the 90 Days of Suck program. I've mentioned this program several times in the past, and I've had some guys tiptoe in I've had one guy, my man William, he made it 65 days before he hit the wall. It requires discipline and it requires hardline truth. Every single day you have to live truth. And if you don't, there's a hard reset. What I want to do today is any of you men and the few women who are listening to this video, if you want to come along this journey with me, grab a pen, piece of paper, and you're going to jot down some very simple notes. If you don't wish to take notes, send me an email at gladiatorfarm17@gmail.com. I'll send you the PDF form of this book. That way you don't have to take notes. Just simply, I'll give it a brief explanation about how this goes. The book details it. What we're going to do is we're going to take 2 weeks and we're going to take a really hard look at who and what you are. Not me. This is your job. It's your task. So what we're going to do is this. I want you to write an essay on your absolute dream life. There are no exceptions. There's no limits to what you can put down within the realm of reality. You can't become a king in, medieval time. None of that goofy shit. I'm talking about real life. If you could form your life, if you could have things be the way that you would want them to be, what would that life look like? I want you to take the time to really put in as much detail as you can. What would your ideal life look like? Who would you be? Who would you be surrounded by? What would you have? What would you do? Everything that you can squeeze out of your mind, your imagination, put it down on paper. I want you to dream big here. Who would you be? Where would you be? What would you have? What would you be doing? How would people see you? What kind of man or woman would you be if you could have things be exactly as you wish? I want you to really put that down. Put that down without reading what you wrote. Just let it fly. Before you read that again, I want you to get another piece of paper out. Now we're gonna go over the 4 pillars that are gonna hold up the foundation of your life. It's your spiritual life, your physical life, your professional life, your personal life. Your physical is your health. Are you healthy? Are you sick and fat? Where are you in your health? What do you want your health to look like? Your spirituality. Do you believe in God? Are you an atheist? What do you want that relationship to be like? If you believe in God, have you fallen off? Do you pray? All of the details that you can come up with explain what your spiritual life is like. Personal life. What do your personal relationships look like? Do you have a lot of friends? Do you have a good social life? Are you married? Are you single? Are you engaged? Write all these details down. In your professional life, what do you do for a living? How do you make your money? And if you could have it your way, what would you do to make money? All of these pillars, these 4 pillars, I want you to give as much detail on these things as possible. Good, bad, and ugly. I want you to put it all down. I want every detail that you can muster on these things on your pieces of paper. So you got your ideal life, and then you've got your 4 pillars. I want you to put the details down. Now, once you've got these 2 articles, you've got a blueprint of where your life is and why your life isn't what you want it to be. Because in those 4 pillars are the answers to all the problems of why my life doesn't look like what I wrote down here. And so for the next 2 weeks, you're going to do this. I'm on day 2 of this process now. So if you join in right now, we're going lockstep, minus 1 day. What you're going to do for the next 2 weeks is you're going to ponder these lists. You're going to ponder the list of your 4 pillars. You already wrote your ideal. You're going to put that away. You're going to put that away and you're going to concentrate on those 4 pillars because you know how and why they don't jive here. You're going to concentrate on those pillars and you're going to start making a list of all the things that you could do or the things that you need to stop doing. Maybe you're spending too much time with your lotion in your Kleenex. Maybe you're spending too much time watching stupid YouTube videos or Netflix, and whatever it is, you're going to make a list of how you're going to change the things that you don't like and a list of how you're going to accomplish the things that you do want to do. And you're just going to make those lists. For the next 2 weeks, you're going to be very, very honest. This list might change. You might scratch some things off, move some things around. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be pretty. You're going to contemplate these lists. And over the next 2 weeks, you're going to be extremely honest with yourself. I want you to start journaling every day for the next 2 weeks and identify who and what you are as a person. Write down any thoughts that you think are pertinent to this journey. Keep yourself conscious of what you're doing, and do not lie to yourself or anyone else for any reason. For the next 2 weeks, you're going to make a list, and you're going to prioritize what things in these pillars that you need to focus on. Now, this is the thing that I want to make very, very clear. You are not looking for the things that you want to do. This list should not be made up of all the things that'll make you feel fuzzy and comfortable. This needs to be a real check of your shadow, the things that you're hiding from yourself. You're going to have to go through layers and layers of bullshit because we lie. We cover our weaknesses with our ego, and there's layers that you're going to have to pull back. That's why we're taking 2 weeks to really do this work. A lot of people that try to do this, we're going to forget within a few days that they're even on a program. If and when that happens, you reset to day one. That's why this is so hard. You don't get to pick up where you left off. You lose discipline for 1 day, it's day one, week one. Every time you slip. So what you're going to do for the next 2 weeks is make a list of tasks that you either need to do or you need to take away from doing. You're going to try to prioritize those things. A person who's really healthy, that's a gym nut, is not going to be putting on his list that he needs to go to the gym and do. That's the thing where his pillar is too strong. You want to get some semblance of balance in these things. There's never going to be equilibrium in the whole system, but you want to get them as close to it as possible so you can get a nice rhythm going on. And so what I want you to do for the next 2 weeks is you're going to identify your weaknesses, make a very clear plot, a course of the walk that you're going to take to get to where you want to go. And you're going to make a list of at least 20 things that you could do, that you would do. And once this starts, in 2 weeks, I'm going to give you the formula of how to go, how to engage. For the next 2 weeks, be very conscious of those 4 pillars. Be honest with yourself. Be honest with everyone that you talk to, especially yourself. And realize that you are not the person that you want to be because of the way that you move, the choices that you make, and the lack of self-discipline, accountability. This is going to make itself glaringly obvious. So for the next 2 weeks, you're going to write your story and you're going to lay out all of the things you need to do and stop doing to fortify your pillars. And in 2 weeks, we're going to take that intel and we're going to go to war on the weakness that lies within all of us. Out.